Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be on the floor because I'm going to be going through this monstrosity of all of my blushers, bronzers, and highlights, as well as my face palettes. This is my pile. I don't think it's the worst ever. It's definitely been bigger at certain points, but it definitely could use a little trimming. Okay. Yeah, so these are my only bronzers, which is impressive for me, okay? First we have this Charlotte Tilbury Shade and Light palette I have actually used the crap out of. I don't mind this highlight, it's not my favorite, but I really like this cool contour color. This is ridiculously expensive, but this contour just suits my skin beautifully, so I'm going to keep this pile right here. I just got this one. My sister bought this for me, so thank you, Caroline. This is a Fenty Beauty. It's so hard to open. Does anyone else have trouble opening this specific package? It is the Into Sun bronzer, the Sunstalker bronzers, and I really like this one. It is really suited for fair skin tones as well. Okay. We have this Sweetie Pie bronzer by Too Faced. I haven't bought anything from Too Faced in a while, but it used to be one of my favorite brands. So here she is. That's what it's like a lattice texture inside. I don't hate this bronzer, but I don't use it that often, so I am going to be getting rid of her. This is a Kylie bronzer in the shade Khaki, which is one of her lightest shades. This is one of my most used bronzers. I think it's kind of similar in tone to Into Sun. Let me, if I can open it again. These are very similar colors, but I do like this formula, and I like this color a lot, so it's not awful. Kylie's cheek products are probably the best quality products she does. I really like them. So I'm going to keep that one. This one is a really old bronzer. It is the Sweet Tea Sweethearts bronzer, Baked Luminous Glow bronzer. The only reason why I might want to keep this is because I don't have any glowy bronzers. I just don't. But I'm pretty sure this, like, it's just kind of old. I don't know. It's pretty. I don't really wear shimmery bronzers that often, so I think I'm going to get rid of it. But it is not awful. I haven't used it in a long time. This is the Morphe Glamour Bronze Face and Body Bronzer. I believe this is now in a different component, but this is what, it's a huge pan. You get a lot of bronzer for your money. I think this is something crazy like 20 grams. For just comparison's sake, like this Kylie is 11 grams, and like the Fenty Beauty is 6 grams. 6 versus 20. I think this was pretty inexpensive as well. I like this product, and it's the only warm-toned bronzer I have, so I'm going to keep it just in case I want like a beachy moment. Also, I like the big mirror in here. I reach for that sometimes. Can you believe those were my only two bronzers? Because I didn't have that many bronzers. Sorry, if you hear like gross noises, that's my dog, Louie. He keeps making some funny, gross noises. He likes to lick the carpet. Stop it, stop it. Okay, I think this is better. You're zoomed in. Okay, so, gosh, where do I start? I have these Tarte ones that honestly are really old. And that's why I'm kind of like, should I get rid of these? They're really old. They still have some pigment that's coming off of them. I mean, not really. These say these are good for 12 months, but I've had these since high school, and I am a senior in college, so boy, they might be a little old. These are in the shade Glisten and Tipsy. Tipsy is one of my favorites because it's a coral color. Glisten is this really beautiful shimmer color here. I just never use these, but I remember really liking both of them. Some of my favorite blushes that I know I'm going to keep are these two ones by Kylie. This one is in the shade Winter Kissed. She gets a lot of use. She's such a beautiful cool-toned pink. So I'm going to keep her for sure. And then we have Pink Power, which is a really pretty It's kind of like a warmer, peachier pink toned. So I'm definitely going to keep these two because these are some of my most used blushes. Sorry. I also have my Benefit blushes, which are getting pretty old as well, but I just can't bear to part with them. Rockateur is one of my favorite blushes of all time. I've absolutely destroyed this one. The only issue being I don't buy from non-cruelty-free brands anymore. I haven't for at least 2 years, so that kind of dates some of my makeup when I realize how old some of this stuff is. I really don't think I used Coralista that much ever, so I think I can get rid of Coralista. Yeah, that hurts, but I think I can get rid of this one. I know I can get rid of this Papa Don't Peach blush. This is from the Peach collection. It's just really old and it's starting to get those granule little, like, I don't know if you guys can see, but those little bumps, which is just a sure sign for me that something is just too darn old. So I'm gonna get rid of this Papa Don't Peach blush. This Natasha Diamond and Glow, Natasha Denona, was absolute shit. I'm sorry for saying it, but like literally, like it just didn't show up on the face. I don't know. She needs to go. I hate it. Was like so like hard panned. Her miniatures are just not up to par with her normal stuff. Okay, these Becca blushes I never use, and I always declutter them thinking I'll use them. The problem is with these guys is that they're so stinking pigmented that they just show up too deeply on my skin tone, and it takes a lot of effort to blend these out. So I'm going to give these away. These are in the shades Snapdragon and Camellia. These are pretty expensive as well, but you know, we're just gonna put those away. Okay, this one I think I'm gonna give it to my sister. This is the Kathleen Lights ColourPop My Sun and Stars, and this is gorgeous. It is so pigmented, but it is just too warm toned and pigmented for my skin. I really prefer blushes that take a while to build up, because I just am too white for this color to really work on me. So I'm gonna give this to my sister, who is much tanner than I am. I'm definitely keeping my Glossier Cloud Paint. This is in the shade Storm. I love this. It's really good for my no makeup days. I know this guy is really old. This is the MAC Blush in Dainty. I haven't shopped at MAC for so long. I got this for my 9th grade homecoming, which should tell you how old she is. Like, she is freaking old. So we are going to get rid of her. I'm gonna keep this one though. This is less old. This is MAC Peaches, because this is a really beautiful shade and it looks really nice on me. Even though I don't shop from MAC anymore, I'm gonna keep her. I'm gonna go ahead and keep Rockateur and Dandelion, because I do really like Dandelion on my skin. It's that really cool pink blush, and Rockateur is just one of my favorite blushes, and I know I can't buy it again because it's not cruelty free, so I'm gonna keep that. This Love Glow, I got in the UK back before Charlotte Tilbury was really sold all over the place in the States. I mean, you could get it at specialty retailers like high-end department stores, but it wasn't in Sephora. It's kind of hard to get your hands on. So I'm gonna keep this blush just for the sentimental value. I don't use it all that often. I need to use like my nicer makeup more because I'm always worried about like ruining it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. And then I thought about these guys, and I think it's just time I let these suckers go because I never use them. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these. I think we can see where the true root of my addiction lies, and that is 100% my highlighter collection. It's really overwhelming compared to the other sections. I don't think it's unmanageable. Again, I had more at one point in time, but I've been managing my collection a lot better. I already know of some. I think I hated the formula of these Jeffree Star Supreme Frost. In my eyeshadow declutter, I talked about how I am no longer supporting Jeffree Star and haven't for almost a year now. But I don't want to just throw out products just because they're Jeffree Star. That's not really a sustainable mindset. I just won't talk about them in videos, but except in declutters. This shade is called, this is the Supreme Frost in Wet Dream, which is such a gross shade name. And it is ridiculously shiny, but it's just too glittery for me. It really emphasizes a lot of texture, and you've got this glitter fallout all over your face for the whole day, and it just comes off on everything. And I don't like it. So I'm going to be getting rid of this one. Moving on. The other Jeffree Star highlight I am going to keep because it is one of the best for fair skin. Even though I don't shop from him anymore, it is the Skin Frost in Ice Cold. This is such a beautiful shade for the palest of pale. Thankfully, this is massive, so I'll probably never, I mean, I wouldn't repurchase this, but I will, you know, don't have to worry about running out of this. This was probably his best highlighter formula. I don't like the other ones. So I'm going to keep this one. A glittery kind of formulation I do like is this Fenty Beauty highlight. It is How Many Carats, and you kind of just use this as a highlight topper, which seems really excessive because it is, but it is a baseless, like, silver sparkle magicalness. You have to use it sparingly, and so this amount of highlight will last you absolutely forever. But yeah, this is a sparkly girl's dream right here. I didn't like this until I watched a Tati video on how she uses it, and now I love it, so I'm going to keep this one. So I do really like my Kylie highlights as well. Again, I really like her cheek products. My most used one, I think, is the shade Snow Angel, which is one of my favorite highlighters in my collection. It is so stunning and gorgeous. I think she made this part of her permanent line, if I'm not mistaken. This is just such a gorgeous shade that I love. This also looks really pretty on the eyelid. So I'm keeping this one. The other two I'm not as crazy about. The shade Quartz, I don't know why I got this because it is so yellow toned, and I am not yellow toned in the slightest. So it's really got that gold base to it. So I'm going to be getting rid of this one. Trying to find a home for it. I have the shade Ice Me Out, which I don't hate. It is a lot more gold than I really like, but I think I might just get rid of this one just because I have so many highlighters, and I rarely dip into this one, so I think I'm gonna get rid of this. But her highlighter formula is really gorgeous. I really do like it. It doesn't emphasize too much texture. It's really good. I think it's time for me to let go of this Too Faced Love Light. This is kind of like a cream, oh, it's so pretty though. It's like cream gelée formula, and this was a beautiful champagne color, but I've had her for so long and I don't use her. So it's time for me to let her go, even though that's really pretty. Okay, this Ofra one is one of the shiniest highlighters I have in my collection. This is the Samantha March collaboration, which is called, it just says March Beauty World Highlighter. I believe it's Pillow Talk and another shade combined, so you can either mix them together or the pan is big enough where you can dip into each color. So I love this. Ofra definitely emphasizes texture, so if you don't like that, I wouldn't shop for Ofra. Also, the packaging kind of bothers me because it gets so dirty, but I really like this highlighter. Keeping her. This guy is so old. This is MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. in Soft and Gentle. I believe I got this in 8th or 9th grade, and for some reason I could never get rid of this because this was one of my first high-end makeup items. Back when everyone loved Soft and Gentle by MAC. I mean, it's not even that, it was just before highlighters were really even a thing. But it's time for me to get rid of her, say goodbye. She was a little too dark for my skin tone in the first place. But yeah, goodbye Soft and Gentle. It was a throwback. This is Milk Makeup's Flex Highlighter. I guess what shade is it? In the shade Lit. And this is one of the highlighters that is too dark for me, but it's just so reflective that I like to keep it in the weird delusion that I might ever be tan enough to use it. It's just so beautiful and reflective. Like, it's just so reflective. Yeah, it's definitely too dark for me, but I feel like if I use it sparingly, I'm good. So I'm gonna keep this one. I have some more Too Faced highlights. This one is the, whatever this original shade was, and this one is really pretty because it's like that ethereal rainbow shade. I might keep this just because I don't have a lot of stuff in my collection that it's kind of shifty like that. I feel like we all moved away from those highlighters because you don't wear them that often. It's kind of green. I don't know. I feel like I might just keep this. Going through the highlighter is really hurting me because they're all so shiny. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this, but if I don't use it next time I declutter, I'll probably be getting rid of it. Next we have the Candlelight Glow Highlighting Powder Duo in the shade Rosy Glow. This has been used and abused. While it says it's like rosy, it's really a golden tone. Yeah, it's got this like goldy reflect. It's kind of hard to see. Again, I think this one is past her prime, so it's time for me to just get rid of this one. I haven't used it in a long time anyway. Yeah. I don't even think Too Faced does packaging like this anymore. Okay. I have two ColourPop highlighters. I have Flexitarian, which again is one of my most extreme highlights out there. It's so intense. There's really, nothing like it. So I'm definitely keeping Flexitarian because it is the brightest highlighter pretty much out there. They're Super Shock. Like, look at that. I love it so much. This is their massive highlighters they came out with this spring. This is the Your Catch pinky toned one. I don't have a lot of pinky toned highlighters, so I thought this was gorgeous. Also, I love the mirror in here. I'm trying not to blind you guys. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping this one. It's a nice pinky toned golden champagne moment. It's kind of marbled, so you can get a few different colors based on where you dip in. I do really like this. I just wish it was paper. I've noticed that ColourPop has been manufacturing with a lot more plastic in recent months, which makes me really sad because when you can put things in paper, why not? I understand this one's kind of like a gelée formula, so I understand why they would want to put it in a plastic packaging. Like their palettes and stuff that could easily be paper and have been in the past are now plastic. I have these two Becca highlights. This is in the shade Pearl. Sorry, my camera cut me off. This is in the shade Pearl, which is really, really gorgeous. I think I'm going to keep it just for the pale dead of winter days. This one is in the shade Prismatic Amethyst, which is really more of a pinky toned, and I do like this. I feel like I have nothing else in my collection really that looks quite like this. So I feel like I want to keep it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. But if I don't use it next time I declutter, I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, I don't think I'll be getting rid of a lot more in my highlighter collection. This is my Natasha Denona Super Glow, which is gorgeous. This is one of my only products I've hit pan on, just because I get so overwhelmed. This falls out of the pan all the time, and I have to press it back in really gently. Natasha Denona's products are just pressed so softly that they come apart pretty often in travel. But I love this one a ton. This is the lightest shade, 01 Fair. This is gorgeous. I love this one. It doesn't emphasize texture too much despite being a very glowy product, so I'm going to keep that. We have one of the most coveted products in the makeup game, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight. So I'm definitely keeping this. This is the only like golden highlight I really like. I love this highlight. The formulation of it is just gorgeous. If Anastasia could just come out with this formulation in different colors, that would be amazing. Thank you. I have Cookie by Benefit, which I really love. Not getting rid of this just because this was one of the last purchases I made from a non-cruelty-free company, and yeah, I think this was actually my last one that I ever made, but I'm not buying from them anymore. But this is a lovely highlighter. It's really stinking bright. Okay, these are like weird format highlighters. I guess this one isn't. This is the shade Toy Alien by Kaja. I don't love this highlight, to be honest. I bought it because Julia Mazzucato told me to. It's just so sheer, which is very Korean makeup, so I understand its purpose. But I don't ever really reach for a super sheer highlighted moment. I don't know if I want to keep this. Yeah, I feel like I'm just going to keep her because she's not that bright, and I don't have a lot of not bright highlights. That's my final decision. These, again, are my non-traditional highlight products. They're like loose. These are all loose powders, and this is a liquid. This is the Glossier Play in Night Shine in the shade Pale Pearl. This is really great. It has like a weird applicator. I wish it would just, you know, drip out, but it has this weird doe foot like applicator that doesn't pick up a lot of product, so I wish you could like squeeze it out or brush it out or something else. But this is a really pretty shade, and this is my only liquid illuminator, but I really like this one. Okay, this one is by Jaclyn Cosmetics, and it is the shade Extra, and this is gorgeous. This is very extra, as the name implies. This is what I use a lot for inner corner highlight because it's just so stinking bright. Yeah, this is a very pretty powder. Okay, more loose powders. This one is Artist Couture Cocoa Bling, and I never use this. I don't know what it is. Everyone hypes these powders up a lot, and they are gorgeous, right? But I just find them to be very, very glittery. I mean, obviously it's a loose highlight, but it doesn't like stick together in one kind of like coherent... I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make any sense. I guess I just wasn't... I don't really love loose powders. I think that's what it comes down to. But I think I'm going to keep this one because it is actually my shade, whereas these two are not as much my shade, but I do like to mix these guys in with body lotion. Believe it or not, that's a little trick of mine. This shade is Let It Glow, and this is like a golden tone. Oop, I'm very worried. It's like a golden peachy tone, and I think I'm going to get rid of this one because it just doesn't fit my skin tone whatsoever. This one in the shade Merry Bright is a little bit easier to sneak in. Even though it is so dark, you'd be like, how does that work on you? I'd like to mix it in moisturizer and stuff. finally, these are my face palettes. So I don't see myself getting rid of a lot of these because I do like most of these. Okay, so this Becca palette is pretty old, but I really love the colors in it. This is the Après Ski Glow face palette. I really love the blush in here as well as the highlights. They're really gorgeous together. I like this whole situation a lot. So I'm going to keep this one because I do like to travel with this one. So I'm going to keep her. Then I know I want to get rid of this one. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach Glow palette. And this guy is just old. I didn't really like the products in here to begin with, but this is just freaking old, man. This again is probably from high school, like my senior or junior year of high school. So it's time for her. And I haven't touched this in a long time, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. This Hourglass palette I'm not getting rid of because this was so freaking expensive. I love this blush in here. I use this blush a whole lot. This was the one from I think 2018. The bronzer in here is also gorgeous. I like the powders a lot. So if you can fit the skin tone that they manufactured, they only make these for really pale people basically. But if you are that shade, these are really lovely palettes. This is the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero palette, and this is the OG palette. And honestly, I loved these shades so much, and I treasured this palette while I had it. I used Forever Young a whole lot, and I just think it's time for her to go. They relaunched this palette a few months ago, I believe. I had the original one, which again was gorgeous, but it's starting to like clump up. I think it's just time we let her go. So it's like weirdly like bent as well. I don't know what happened there. But I'm gonna get rid of this guy, which hurts my heart because this was one of my first like highlighter sets that I really fell in love with. But yeah, it's time to get rid of this one. I also have the Moonchild kit, which I think I might need to get rid of as well. I just never use any of these shades. The only thing I could think that I should keep these for was if I did any... I guess I'm going to keep this actually just for my kit. Sometimes I do like crazier looks for shoots, so I think I'm just going to save this for using on other people. I am going to get rid of this Revolution Pro HD palette. There's nothing extremely special to this guy. None of the shades in here are light enough for me to use. They're all pretty dark. This one is like the lightest contour shade they offer, and it's still pretty dark. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of this guy. Okay, this is definitely not going anywhere. This is the Kylie, what is this called? The Wet Set Pressed Illuminating Powder. These are basically like, very similar to ColourPop's, what are they called? Why am I blanking? The Super Shock highlights. These are very, very similar. They're like the same kind of texture going on. I absolutely love this palette. It's one of my favorite things in my collection. I love bouncing a beauty blender in between these two shades because it's just gorgeous. Gorgeous. Keeping that. Dream Sequence, which is by ColourPop. I do like these two shades a lot. Counting Sheep and Pinch Me. That one, it's like a really pretty pink situation. So I'm going to keep this one. I have this Dior highlight palette, that I used to be absolutely in love with. I haven't used this in a long time. These two shades were so, I mean, they're still very, very pretty. I don't reach for this. I think I don't know. I do really like this. I think I'm going to keep this and then rethink it later, see if I use it anymore. The final three. I'm definitely going to keep this one from Lunar Beauty. This is the Moon Prism Blush Palette. This is honestly like the best blush palette ever. The shades are just gorgeous. It's the exact right formula you want in a blush. It shows up when you put it on, but it's not overwhelming. This shade Soleil is absolutely gorgeous. You could use this as a highlight if you're darker. I mix it in with whatever blush color I'm using. Even the shade Spacey I can use on my cheeks without it being overwhelming. I can't really use Gravity because it's a little too purple to be used as like a bronzer, but I love all the other shades so much. This is such a good palette. I think this is restocking soon, so if you can get your hands on it, it's amazing. And I mean, the packaging is gorgeous. I'm also going to keep this Natasha Denona Love Glow. I have a love-hate relationship with this palette. I really like this one cream blush shade, and I think the rest of it is actual trash. So I'm just keeping it because it was expensive. Which isn't a good reason to keep things, but you know, whatever. This is the Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D. The only reason I can't get rid of this, I think, is because it has darker shades, so I guess I feel like I need one blusher bronzer palette that I might be able to use on someone that isn't myself, so I think I'm going to keep this. Should I keep this one or this one? I don't know, I'm trying to think. This one has more shades actually, so even though I can't use this myself, I will save this in case I need to use contour on other people, because this doesn't offer that great of a shade range. We're done. Oh my god. Can't believe I'm done with all of that. So I feel like I'm getting rid of, I'll pile together everything I'm getting rid of. This is all the stuff I'm getting rid of, which I think is pretty dang impressive, especially for me, because I like to hoard on to a lot of my products and not let them go, but I feel like this is a good amount to be getting rid of. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe. I'm going to be going through the rest of my collection in phases. But that was all of my my blushes, bronzers, and highlights in a declutter.